This video, I want to talk a little bit about survivor's guilt. After we experience a significant loss, especially when it's someone close to us, where maybe we had some involvement prior to the person's death happening, we experience survivor's guilt. And I want to share a quick tip or two on how I've dealt with survivor's guilt in the past. When I was in the Army, I had 5 friends killed in a 6-month period, and I spent several years going through therapy learning how to overcome survivor's guilt, where it essentially held me back from gaining enjoyment out of life or allowing myself to have fun because I felt guilty because I was disrespecting their memory. And it kind of left me feeling like if I was out having fun, then I wasn't grieving appropriately. And during my time in therapy, I learned a few specific things that I applied later in my life. When my wife died from cancer, I also experienced survivor's guilt, but I was a little bit more prepared. So I want to share with you what I used to help me overcome that. Tip number 1 is flipping the perspective. If you were the one who died and you thought about the person who survived you, what would you want them to do? Well, you would want them to be happy, be successful, and continue to enjoy their lives. I know it's easier said than done. After my wife died, one of the things that I did to help is I like to believe that she's still here in spirit and with me in spirit. So when I go out and have fun and I enjoy things and I make new memories, I like to imagine that she's there with me and getting to experience in that fun at my side instead of missing out on it. And that's really allowed me to reshape my perspective on the survivor's guilt to allow me to get better or greater achievement in the things that I do. My second tip is creating a closure list. After my wife died, I thought about my previous experiences with loss because she was my 8th friend who had died at a young age. And I look at grief as a process. It's something that we work through to allow us to move forward. And what I did when Jess died is I created a closure list, and I had a variety of different items. One of them was spreading her ashes on a mountaintop for our anniversary. Another one was getting a memorial tattoo, which I got done, creating a scholarship at the school that she worked at, and a variety of different things that allowed me to look at the grieving process as a process. And by going through these specific steps, I'm able to honor her memory in a positive and constructive manner instead of just wallowing in grief and misery and not giving myself permission to move forward. Now, these are things that I learned over a decade and a half of experiencing trauma, loss, and hardship. And unfortunately, I had to learn the lesson the hard way. So the reason I'm sharing with you is hopefully you can use these strategies to help overcome some of that survivor's guilt to allow you to move forward and continue to enjoy life. I hope you found that tip valuable. My goal is to share as much of the learning lessons and experiences I have to help you endure, prevail, and thrive despite the hardship that you're going through.